Okay, coach, coming off the CT Ice tournament, took a win over Yale, fell to Quinnipiac in the championship game. Looking ahead to this weekend, big Friday night matchup in Boston against Northeastern, who's won 5 straight. Just want to get your thoughts heading into the matchup. You've already faced them 2 times, once at Fenway, once in Toscano. Just want to get your thoughts heading into this third matchup.
Yeah, well, it's that time of year. It's February, so the stretch run begins, and I know these 3 points are important to Northeastern, and they're certainly very important to us. And we're very familiar with the opponent, having played them a couple times in the past 3 weeks, so we know it's going to be, a hard-fought game. We're going to really have to, get to the front of their net. Levi's an outstanding goaltender, and play extremely well if we want to get those 3 points.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. Go ahead, Daniel.
You have a power play goal in 8 of your last 11 games. What's been going good with that unit?
Well, I would say probably one of the positive changes was that, I got Tyler Helton a little bit more involved with the power play, and I think he's had some really good ideas. But I think we have 2 units that are both very good, so I feel confident that we're always getting a rested unit to start the power play. That's always good. And I think we're doing a good job, Dan, of getting pucks to the net. Whether it's off the rush, I think good power plays can score off the rush. They can score in the zone. They can score off a set face-off play. And we'll be able to, I think we've been scoring goals in all of those facets on the power play.
And you've been kind of tweaking the lines as they've gone. And I think one of the bigger things recently was Ryan going from one group to the other. How have you seen kind of the balance, or how have you figured out the right balance between which guys go where?
On the power play?
Yeah.
Well, I think we just put Ryan on the other group because he plays with Chase and Nick, and Chase and Nick were on one of the power play units. So it just makes sense that, if that line's out there and they draw a penalty, we know we can come with Huddy's group, which is a fresh group. But if Huddy's line or Samu's line is out there and they've been out there for a while and they draw the penalty, then we can go fresh with Ryan's group. So that was the whole impetus behind that.
Go ahead, Bob.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Bob.
What about the tweak at defense to some of the defensive combinations? I think 2 of the defensive combinations you tweaked a little bit. I think second or third period Saturday night. You made you flip-flopped a little bit.
I didn't even notice, Bob. Tyler runs the D. And I think sometimes I know that the pairings haven't changed in a while.
Right.
Harrison has been playing with Roman, and Lucas has been with Spets, and Massinio and Flynn have been together almost all season. So
yeah,
I know the pairings haven't changed, but I think there are sometimes some in-game changes, and sometimes that's because of power plays. Lucas could have been out there, so his partner is going to go with somebody else, or sometimes it's just you're playing hot sticks too, guys that you think are playing really well.
Right. And what about Samu Salmonen and the way he's fit in? I mean, he's on a roll like a couple of other guys right now. Did you expect this much production from him when he first got here?
Yeah, he's a 2nd-round pick to the New Jersey Devils, a 3rd-round pick. I mean, he's a very good player, and I think he's settling in now. I think I really have been pleased with that line. Jake Percival, Samu, and Ty Monty have, been really effective when they've been out there playing.
Okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
Morning, Cav. How are you?
I'm great, Joe. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Can you explain your thought process on going with Arsetti 2 games in a row? I don't know if that's the first time that you've gone with a guy 2 straight games, but can you just talk about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, it was on the weekend. That's the first time I think we've done that on a weekend series where we went
Right.
with one guy. It was just as simple as I thought. He's been playing really well. It was the first time that we were playing for a trophy all year long, and I thought he gave us the best chance to win, just based on how he's been playing. That was it. There was nothing else behind it. I don't know yet. We'll meet after this call and kind of discuss who's going to play tomorrow. I'll sit down with Vince, but I certainly doesn't mean Logan Turnus isn't going to play anymore this season.
Right. Right. And can you also talk about the skill set of Northeastern? Obviously, McDonough scores against everybody, but he seems to really have had a lot of success against your squad.
Yeah, well, I don't, I think that's a crowded bus, Joe. I think he's had a lot of success against a lot of squads. He's a very good player, but you just can't shut down McDonough. Raskovian's a very good player. Colangelo's a good player. Jack Hughes is a good player. The kid Jack Williams is playing really well for him. They got good players up and down their lineup. They're very deep. They roll four lines for most of the night. So, we can't just go out there and say, hey, let's just shut down McDonough and we're going to be fine. They got a lot of other weapons we got to be cognizant of.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bob, you have a question?
Yeah, Justin's on a roll, Mike, and it's no secret that Hudson and Matt are also playing really well on that line. But what's Justin doing maybe a little better that he wasn't doing maybe earlier in the season?
I think pucks are going in for him, and he was getting a lot of chances early in the season. He seemed to be snake bit there, Bob, and now he's finding the back of the net. But I think he's been pretty consistent all year long. He's one of our best guys of hunting pucks. When we're able to, teams will have 2 or 3 guys across the blue line and we don't have numbers, you got to get it in behind their defenseman. And he's one of the best when we do get it in behind their defenseman of going down, hunting it and creating turnovers. I think that's a real strength of his game.
Mike, is he a quicker skater than you thought? He made a really nice play on Hudson's goal where he got down the right wing, caught the defenseman flat-footed.
Yeah, that's something we work on in practice with all our guys, that driving it D wide and using your leverage and body position to get inside of them. And I think Justin did a really good job on that. No, he's been a pretty solid player all year long.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Bob stole my question on Justin, but with Ryan, him getting back on the score sheet, have you seen a difference in the way that he's been playing since he scored again, or has it all been pretty steady and the puck just started going in?
I think he's been playing fairly consistent all year long, Dan. I think any competitor, and every good player goes through it, where you kind of go through a slump here and there. And when you do get that goal, you feel like the weight of the world's off your shoulders. So I've been extremely happy with the way he's played all year long. He competes every night. I don't think you can come to one of our games and say, oh, Ryan Torberg didn't compete tonight. Now, there might be some nights where the puck's bouncing on him or whatnot, and he's not getting a shot to the net, but it's never because of a lack of compete.